Hi guys, my name is Caitlin, and today we're going to be learning about different ABA techniques that we use here at Fox Behavior Group. Okay, so first and certainly very important is our 80-20 rule. So this is basically 80% mastery, which is those easier targets that the client already has in their repertoire, and then 20% acquisition, which are the harder targets. Typically, you're going to see the 80-20 rule with like a token board. So let's say the client has 5 tokens. For each token, they're on a fixed ratio of 3. So that's 5 times 3, 15 targets total. Around, what would that percentage be? Like 10 or 11 of those probes are going to be those easier mastered targets. I have in our little bubble down here, this teaching method can overall promote confidence in the child, and that is what we are aiming for. All right, our next teaching technique is mixing and varying tasks. And this typically goes along with the 80-20 rule as well. So mixing and varying tasks can look like a client earning 10 tokens. Within his token board session, the therapist presents 4 tacks, 3 intraverbals, 5 LRs, and 3 imitations. For example, it will be on his token board, what is it? Dog. Touch the cat. A car says, do this. So you're mixing all across the different verbal operants instead of sticking with the same exact ones. It teaches discrimination across the verbal operants. It decreases rote responding, and it can decrease the value of escape. All right, and now we're going to watch a short video on what mixing and varying tasks would look like in a token board session. Next, we're going to learn how to mix and vary tasks while you are either teaching in a natural environment, or most of the time whenever you want to mix and vary tasks is whenever you're using something like a token board. All right, Emily, are you ready to earn your tokens? You're going to do awesome. All right, touch your nose. Awesome. A pig says, oink. You got it. You got your first token. Awesome work. Give me a high five. Awesome work. Can you do this? Perfect. Say, achoo. You got it. Another token. You can put it on. Oh, perfect. What is it? Pig. Awesome job. Can you do this? Perfect. Emily, what is this? What are these? Teeth. Teeth. You got it. Another token. Perfect. We only need one more token, and then we'll get to go play on the playground. Emily, can you touch your shoulders? Awesome work. Can you do this? Awesome. You got another token. You got it. All right. And the next teaching technique that we're going to talk about is stimulus control transfer procedures. So what is this? It seems like a very fancy term, and I got to be honest, the first time I heard it, I was super overwhelmed. But once we break it down and try and understand what exactly it is in simpler terms, it's really super simple. What is a stimulus control transfer procedure? It is a prompting procedure that's used to teach a new skill using a known or mastered verbal operant of the same target to transfer control of the new skill. So here's an example. You're trying to teach your client how to tact horse. So I'm trying to see what I have together. So let's just pretend this is a picture of a horse. So you're trying to teach them to tact it. You're trying to teach them to say horse. The client already knows how to identify a horse in a field for listener responding. So you could lay out 5 pictures of different farm animals, and they can independently find the horse after you say, touch the horse. They can do that skill. They already have it. It's already in their mastered repertoire. So you will now use that LR that they know and use it as a prompt to immediately tact horse. So you have your field out. You say, touch the horse. The client touches the horse. You pick up the picture. What is it? And they'll tact horse. Okay, and I believe next we have some more examples of how you can use a stimulus control transfer procedure. So like we said previously in our example, we have LR to tacts, but we can also do echoic to tacts. We can do echoic to LRs. We can do tact to intraverbals. We can do a written prompt to an intraverbal. It really is based upon the client's skill set and how we can use those stepping stones to teach them a new skill. For example, let's look at the verbal operant, and we're going to do the echoic to LR transfer. So the client can already echo mommy, but we're going to put our field down. We're going to present the echoic, say mommy. The client says mommy, and then you're going to say touch mommy, and then you're going to prompt to mommy, or they'll independently go to mommy. Another example would be for the tact to intraverbal. Showing them a picture. What is it? Chair. You remove the card, immediately say you sit in a, they say chair. Next, we are going to watch a short video on a stimulus control transfer procedure example. All right, next we're going to learn how to do a stimulus control transfer procedure. For our examples, we're going to do an LR2 TACT stimulus control transfer procedure. Let's start with getting our field together. Touch the cat. What is it? Cat. Yeah, you got it. I can't begin to tell you how awkward it is that I'm doing this training and those are videos of me in the training, but we're just like hanging in there together, folks. All right, moving on to our next teaching technique. It is errorless teaching. So what is it? It's a prompt given immediately after demand. This promotes higher levels of success. So basically you're giving the client the answer before they have a chance to make an error or a mistake. So for example, on our step 1 probe, we're going to do an intraverbal, you sleep in a bed. Before the client has the opportunity to answer, you're going to already say bed. Then the client says bed, and then you reinforce. Another example would be LR, let's pretend it's a field of 3. LR, touch couch, immediately point to the couch. Our last one is tact. So you have a picture of a glass of juice. What is it? Juice. You're going to just prompt it before they even have the chance to incorrectly respond. A pro tip on the bottom, you need to evaluate what prompt level is most necessary for your client. Always remember to shoot for the least intrusive prompt as possible. We're going to learn how to airlessly teach LR probes, which are listener responding probes. And we're also going to learn how to prompt intraverbal probes. So let's do the LR first. All right, Emily, touch horse. Good job. And this is how you would probe an intraverbal target. The wheels on the bus go round and round. Round. Yeah, high five. Another example of airlessly probing an intraverbal would be, what is your name? Emily. Emily. Awesome work. Now let's just for funsies practice how to airlessly tact a photo. Who is it? Mom. Mom. It's Mom. You got it. Next, you probably have already watched a video on Ector, but I wanted to put a little insert about it in this video as well, because it's such an important piece of teaching that we use here at Fox. And it's just really something that I feel like you got to know by heart. So let's jump into Ector. So Ector is an error correction procedure that's used as a consequence for a response that is incorrect or either no response has occurred. So our scenario for this example of Ector would be you present the SD for LR touch mouse. The client touches the bird. Now you're going to use Ector to teach. So Ector is an acronym for error, correction, transfer, expansion, and return. Under error in this scenario, it would be when the client touches the mouse. For correction, we would immediately represent the SD and prompt the correct answer with the appropriate prompt level for that client. For transfer, we're going to represent the SD touch mouse and allow for an independent response. For the expansion part, we're going to place an easy master demand. For example, in this scenario, LR, clap your hands. Then you're going to return back to the original demand placed. So you're going to allow for an independent response for that LR touch mouse. This is going to be an example of Ector, which is an error correction procedure that we use here at Fox Behavior Group. All right, Emily, touch nose. Touch nose. Touch nose. Do this. Touch nose. Awesome work. Now stop. I know you know airless teaching and I know you know Ector, but how can you put them both together? So an example of how you would use airless teaching and Ector aside each other would be, let's say you present an SD of intraverbal, when is your birthday? You're going to airlessly prompt March 4th before the client responds. So when is your birthday? March 4th. Client repeats the correct response. Then you're going to go into the transfer procedure. Place the SD for the intraverbal again. When is your birthday? They're going to respond March 4th. Your expansion piece would be placing an SD for a master target, such as touch nose. Client emits the response. 8, you're going to return to the original SD of when is your birthday? And they're going to independently respond March 4th. And then you're going to give them all of the reinforcement. When is your birthday? March 4th. March 4th. When is your birthday? March 4th. Awesome. Touch nose. When is your birthday? March 4th. You got it. Here's your cue. Okay, so switching gears here, we're going to move into discrete trial teaching. So in other terms, other people call it DTT. There are 5 main principles of DTT. 1, the skills are broken into smaller, more ingestible size pieces for the client. 2, we teach each of those pieces until the skill is mastered. 3, each session is to be intensive. I use that with very, very hard quotations, intensive.
4, you're going to begin with prompts when needed and then fade. 5, we're going to use reinforcement. The most common terms that you're probably going to notice out of DTT are going to be over in this picture, which is acquisition, which are those newer skills that we're teaching. Fluency, which is being able to display skills in a specific amount of time. Maintenance, which is being able to retain the skill, and generalization would be being able to use that skill across different people, different settings. So the first thing that you have in your DTT is a discriminative stimulus. This is your SD. It's a brief and clear instruction that alerts the child that a response is needed. For example, an SD would be, go get your backpack, or what is it? Another one would be, say Mickey. Those are some examples of discriminative stimulus. Next, we have our prompts. So that is when we have our least to most prompting level. You probably have already seen that in your training manual. So our least to most here at Fox that we follow is an independent response, is the least restrictive, a visual, a gestural, then verbal, then partial physical, then full physical. You're going to use prompts when an error occurs. Third, we have our response. A correct response means reinforcement everywhere, every day, all the reinforcement. And lastly, we have our consequence. So that is a prompt if the child emits an incorrect response, and then reinforce once you get to that correct response.
So now we're going to learn about discrete trial teaching. All right, Emily, so you were working for your glow cube. Let's earn your 3 tokens. Emily, we're going to get our egg. Can you do this? Do this. Yeah, you got it. Emily, do this. Awesome work. Do this. Yes, you got it. You got a token. All right, Emily, what is it?
Leaf.
What is it? Flower.
Flower.
Yeah, what is it?
Flower.
Flower. Can you touch your nose? What is it?
Flower.
Flower. Awesome work. You got another token. All right, we only need one more. Can you say clock?
Clock.
Yes, you got your last token. And you got your light cube.
All right, before we jump into natural environment teaching, I want to give you your first passcode for this training, and it is going to be cookie. Whether it's chocolate chip or snickerdoodle, it's still a cookie. So go ahead and write that on your paper. Okay, so natural environment teaching. This is pretty much, I feel like, what Fox really revolves around. We're in the client's home, we are at school with them, we're in the community with them. We have a lot of opportunities to naturally teach skills. So this is when you use the client's natural environment, such as a home, playground, school, community outings, to teach, develop, and generalize a variety of skills. Now I have to apologize because this next video is pretty cringe, but I think it gives a really good look into what natural environment teaching can look like.
But we have moved into the kitchen to talk about natural environment training / teaching, whichever way you hear it, it basically means the same thing. We are at Emily's home providing therapy, and we are working on manding. So Emily is going to be working on requesting using 3-word mands. We are going to be making a cake today, Emily. All right, let's go into the kitchen and we are going to get all of our materials. We have a spoon, we have butter, we have eggs, and we also have our recipe. Now, Emily is not at a stage in her development in which she can actually read, but we're going to have her look at the pictures on the back of the box. We're going to give you the box, Emily, and let's make a cake. What do we need first? You can look at your pictures. Let's see.
Butter.
All right, butter. You could say, I need butter.
I need butter.
Awesome. Here's some butter. We got our butter for our cake. What else do we need? Look at our box.
Eggs.
Let's try and use a whole sentence. I need eggs.
I need eggs.
Perfect. We have our eggs. Here you go. Oh, how many eggs?
2.
2 eggs. You got it. Perfect.
Okay.
Already have our bowl. What do we need to mix it?
A spoon.
Spoon.
I need spoon.
That's awesome. Here's your spoon. Are you ready to bake a cake?
Yeah.
Let's do it. You bake a
Cake.
You got it. So that is an example of what natural environment teaching can look like. It's all about having fun. This could happen in the bathroom, in the kitchen, in a playground, basically anywhere that you can teach something, you can implement natural environment teaching.
Okay, and this is our last teaching technique that we're going to talk about, and it is called video modeling. I had actually never heard of video modeling until I came to Fox, and I feel like it has been a wonderful teaching technique that I have seen personal great responses with a variety of different clients that I've worked with. So let's go ahead and get your second passcode though for this training. And it is going to be coffee. All right, so video modeling is a way to teach a client a skill through a visual model. So typically video models can be obtained through YouTube, or we can actually film the video models in the client's home or in the community with them or with familiar faces such as mom, dad, therapists, brothers, sisters. Video models are going to be used to teach skills in a more natural way. Instead of me filming my own video model, I wanted to look up an example of a video model that you might show a client. And this is going to be a video model on asking peers to play.
You want to play blocks with me?
Sure.
All right, this has been a little bit longer of a training than we typically do, but I want to thank you for sticking with me. You did it, like the visual says. I want to also remind you to make sure you have your passcodes written down. And also, as always, refer back to your training manual. I know there's a lot of stuff in there, but you can do this. Always ask for help as well. Everyone is here to help you. Everyone's here to help you succeed, and we all want to see you do well. So hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you next time.